Hello folks, I'm going to show you how to import data into Stella Architect in this video. And the first thing I'm going to do is I have Stella Architect already open. I'm going to double click on the white space. And the data that I have is historical data on the population. I've gotten this from the UN. I'll pull the spreadsheet up in just a second. But I know my data runs from 1950 until 2100. So part of it's historical and the other part is a projection. I know my time units are going to be in months, or in years, excuse me. Default is in months. So I've set that up, and let me go in and see if my font is large enough. Yeah, I have the font at 24, so I'm good. I'm going to add the first variable, and what we're doing is we're importing UN data here. And this is going to be the UN low variant. And this is what the world population from 1950 to 2100 is going to look like according to the UN. What I'm going to do is I want to use all the space I have, so I'm just moving the variable around into the gray part to open up my window a little bit. So I'm going to have the low variant. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this, and I'll click on x squared to get to the equation. And I know I want the data to be over time. It's going to be a function of time to a degree. This is sort of unusual, but it's for historical data. So I'm just clicking on time. And I know that this is people in thousands. So I put my units in. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the spreadsheet that I have. And here's the spreadsheet. And what I did was, you can see the source up here. I've gone to the United Nations and downloaded it, and then I sort of cleaned it up. I took it from the UN spreadsheet that I was capable of downloading, and I made my own spreadsheet so I'd be able to copy and paste easily. And this value looks like this is 2 million, and actually what it is this is people in billions, really. So this is people in thousands here. And what I'm going to do is highlight just these first two columns. You can see up here, this is paste in for the low variant. So I'm going to copy this data all the way down. And it should go to 2100. And I am just going to do a copy. And one of the things I did when I cleaned up this data, I made sure there were no commas or spaces or anything in here. I've got just the data as it's general, but it's just numbers in a numerical format. So I've copied it in Excel, and now I'm going to go down and open up Stella Architect again. I'm going to double click on my variable. It's going to be a function of time. I'm going to go down here to the graphical function and click on the graph. I'm going to go up to the top and click graphical. And then I'm going to go down and click points. So one of the things you can see, this is running from 1950 to 2100. And the reason it's doing that is because it is a function of time, and I had set up time already to run from 1950 to 2100. And I'm just going to click this. The way I'm doing it, because I copied the year also, I'm just going to click on this lock to open everything up. I'm going to go right down below it and click on this box. And you can see both of these are highlighted. And I'm using a Mac, so I'm going to use the command paste. And I have just pasted this data in here. And that's for my low variant. And what I'll do is I will make a graph for now. And I'm going to go in and change my graph just a little bit so that everything shows up a lot larger. So I'll make it 18. 18 and 18. I also don't like when I get these fraction of years. So I'm going to go to my wrench, and I can just start, there, that's good enough. So I've got it 30-year periods. I could make this more. I could make it 12. Let's see how crowded it will be. I can make this larger. And it's still fractional. Let's see if I get to 13, if it will actually. Yeah, I'm still getting fractions of years. There we go. So if I put it at 16, I'm getting it every 10 years. I have 16 years worth of data in there. And now I'm just going to go to the graphical function on the bottom and click on that. I'll click on the plus, and I'll just add the low variant for right now. And I'm not concerned about my ISAT. This is in thousands of people, and I should be able to actually simulate this right now. And there, I've got the data for the low variant. I think that graph is a little bit thin, so I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to go down to my thickness. And let's make it 3. And the other thing I'll do is I'll go up to show numbers on series and click on that. So I've got my low variant. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and do the same thing. I'm going to go up to the converter and bring another one. And this is going to be the UN median variant. And I'm just doing the same exact process. I'm just going to double click on this and open it up. It's going to be time. I'm going to go down. This will also be in thousands of people. And what I'm going to do, just so I don't mistype something, get a different variable name, I'm going to use it in the model, and I'm picking thousands is what it is, people in thousands. So my spelling, even if I spelled it incorrectly, I'd be consistent. It would show my units correct at all times. I'm going to go down to the graphical function, click on graph. I'm going to click on the lock to open it up. And I will click, and now I have to go and get that new data. So I'm going back to my Excel spreadsheet, and I have the median variant, and again, I have the years and I have the values. And for the first 50, from 1950 to about 2020, the data is all the same. And these are projections going out into the future that are done by the UN population folks, and they are going to be different. So I'm just going to copy this, and again, these general text numbers is what it is, right? Or general numbers. I don't have any commas or anything like that in here. This will mess it up when I put it into Stella. I'm going to go back to Stella, and in my variant, I'm going to click. You can see that it's just selected 1950. If I paste it in there, everything would be pasted in just this one cell. I'm going to go back and click so all my cells are collected. And again, with the Mac, it's Command V. I'm pasting it in, and I have the data. And then I will double click on my, I'm gone back to the graph actually because I clicked on it. I'm going to click a plus, and I'll put the median variant in there. And it doesn't show up automatically because I've just added this variable. I have not simulated it, so it's not in my old database. So I can just run this again. And you can see that historically the data is all the same, right? We're looking at the historical data. It's not till just a little beyond 2020 that we start to see variations on what may happen to the future. And again, these are projections. And again, this line is sort of thin. I'm going to go in and I'll click on UN median variant, and I will make that 3 also, just making it a little thicker. And the last one I'm going to add is I'm going to put a new one in. I'm going to go up to the converter and click on the converter and come down. And this is going to be the UN high variant. And you know, I could probably call these population, right? UN low population variant, UN median population variant, and UN high population variant. I'll leave it as it is for now. I'm going to double click in the white space, double click on my variable. I'll make it time. I'll take a chance and type in people in thousands. There you can see it's already telling me I've got something close to this. I'll just click on that and select that. I'm going to go down to my graphical input, go up to graphical, click on the lock to unlock everything and select this, although I think this may become unselected once I go to my spreadsheet. I'm going down to my Excel spreadsheet, and then I have the paste in for the high variant, and I am just copying this data down. And I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to go back to Stella. And in the high variant, again, it's just selected the one cell. I'm going to click on this. So everything's selected. I'm going to paste it in. And I should be set. All my units are correct. I can simulate this at this point. Oh, I haven't added it to the graph. So I'll double click. I'll go to my plus. I'll add the UN high variant. And there we go. I'll make it so the thickness is 3. And so this is it's actually historical data, and then it's the projections, right? We may have talked about the hopes, the fears, the expected behavior going into the future. The UN has done an excellent job. They have a population folks who are studying world population all the time and are updating these projections on a regular basis. So I'm going to end here. This is how to put data into your model. The other thing that you'll notice is that there's nothing connecting to these three variables, right? They're just time and they're data that's put in. So these are things that I would compare my model to. That it's just data. I don't want data driving my model, but I'd like to see a model with feedback loops in it be capable of generating something that looks like this data. So that's it for now. Thanks, and I'll see you around.